Powered by उच्च सोचको निर्माण सगरमाथा सिमेन्ट जुनी जुनीलाई।
भनिन्छ शब्दहरूमै छ संसार र यो संसारलाई औँल्याउन र खेलाउन सफल हुनुहुन्छ एकजना यस्ता हस्ती जसले चाहिँ तपाईहरुको मन र मस्तिष्कमा आफ्नो ठाउँ बनाउन सफल हुनुभएको छ। को हुनुहुन्छ उहाँ? यो चिया ब्रेक पछि। हेर्दै हुनुहुन्छ प्राइम टाइम्स एचडी महु जय प्रधान साथमा हुनुहुन्छ। मेरो उहाँको परिचय चाहिँदैन होला, त्यही पनि फर द फर्मालिटी अफ द शो, यस लेट मी इन्ट्रोड्युस यु टु हिम रे फेरि वेल टु यु अल सजन राज वैद्य। वेलकम टु द शो माय ब्रदर।
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, I had a few time with him, very few time with him, I know, and just before the interview. But you know, you've been a very friendly guy, Sajjan.
Thank you for the compliment. That's a good way to start.
A very good quote.
Thank you.
Junarko season na orange.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, orangey season.
Yeah, definitely. I had this made actually in Nepal, so it's I like
it's designed by you?
No. I just I went to the store, Suit Landman, and it just made it. I love it.
It's gonna make a lot of money now.
No,
you know?
no, I hope so. I hope so.
You know.
Yeah,
just complimenting on things, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about it at Agadi as well. Rather than brands, it's about like having good eye and everything. And this is just like I just wanted to have that done, and rather than paying too much for it, this was done
very humble, very humble of a guy.
No, but it's true. I'm telling you. So it's like if you can get something for 5,000 like this, rather than paying like $500, I'd always go for that.
All right, nice one. By the way, are you following the Premier League right now?
I am. I always do.
Congratulations on the win yesterday.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a scrape of a win, but we're fine.
I'm a Liverpool fan myself.
Oh, so in that case, then we have no trouble.
Good times, but then football is something that has taught me a lot because I've become a Liverpool fan since 2004.
Yeah.
And the kind of ups and downs that the football team has gone through has made me realize, life is somewhat like that.
Yeah.
There are highs and there are lows, and you're enjoying the highs at the moment. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But Sajjan, what is it like to have all the attention in the world?
I mean, I'm not sure that I do, but it's good. It's good to have attention. That kind of means people relate to you, what you do. You connect to them somehow. Perhaps it's something you agree on. One body it's not body It's just connecting to people, and it's essentially sharing the idea that we're all human and we feel the same kind of emotions and experiences and everything. And so it's good. It's good.
I mean, catering to emotions is a pretty tricky thing. Do you think like that on a personal level? एकदमै के अब कसैको भावनाहरुलाई channel गर्न कुरा गर्न it's pretty tricky and complicated, don't you think?
No, it certainly is, especially when you put yourself in somebody else's shoes. It's always difficult, and that's why I think what I've learned is essentially just trying to imagine how you would feel in a certain situation and trying to recall the experiences about it. I think that's the only thing you can do best. You can never truly put yourself in other people's shoes. You can just source from your own set of emotions and experiences, and that's I think what I try to do.
When you begin with your work or your craft, let's say, with your craft, right? I think you'll probably go down as one of the biggest names in Nepali music industry. One of the biggest names of our generations, and probably the one who will have his songs played until coming, I don't know, like a century more or a millennium more, as long as the world exists, and Nepal and Nepalese exist.
I think that's one of the biggest compliments.
I think so. The kind of words that you come up with.
Right.
What is the process of writing a song, like writing or coming up with a song? Do you strum it first, or do you prepare the music first, or do you pen it first?
Well, that's the thing. Like it's not set in any one way or method. There's no formula to it. I think the way I've been fortunate to work with things is that it's always been, I've been able to like encounter stories and music and everything both ways. Sometimes I have music first, and sometimes I have the words first, and sometimes I'm just in a toilet just playing the guitar.
Actually,
I love playing in reverb rooms and shower rooms, and actually before my show that we just recently did with the team, the rehearsal was mostly done in a toilet. So before the band, we jammed in the studio as well. But essentially, it's everywhere. Sometimes this recent song, Excelranam, the music was there first. But before this, what was there before this? Sostamudu. Sostamudu was words first, and things like that. So it's just essentially more than what comes first. It's the idea. What is it that you want to talk about? What is the story that you want to highlight and everything? And that's my process. So at least that's what I've been doing.
Your toilet ko kura aunदाखेरि के हैन, Saif Ali Khan actually has built a bookshelf.
Okay.
Has set up a bookshelf in his toilet so that he does not miss out on reading.
Yeah.
That is one of the facts that I came across, and it actually fascinates me how people are so passionate about things they love.
Yeah.
And music has always been with you, and you've been starting to do music. Well, when I checked your YouTube channel, the last one was 7 years back.
No, I see.
You have a couple of covers done.
Yeah.
Are you going to come up with covers anytime soon, or Abba Khali, it's all about your personal craft?
So Abate is essentially about trying to write your own stuff and despoti, because there's more stories, and hopefully I'll always have more stories to talk about and more ideas and more themes and that's what we'd like to focus on. But Kavate, although we might not publish it, like in our shows I cover quite a lot. This time in the last show I had a couple of covers as well, both Nepali and non-Nepali artists as well, and things like that. So as a musician you always cover stuff, and that's what I try to do. Publish, maybe. There's no reason why I would say no or yes, and just go with the flow and see what happens.
Nice. So you recently had this exclusive concert,
right?
Where actually it's been the buzz of the town. Wherever I go, how does that mechanism work? Like how do you get those private invitations and everything? And you probably have to ask with Sajjan again, how does it work? And they were like, what was the concept behind having a very exclusive and the kind of personal kind of concert?
Yeah, so we were not focusing on exclusivity this time.
Right.
I think that's what people understand, and that's a little bit of a misunderstanding. We just wanted to do a small show.
Right.
We wanted to do an unsponsored show. We wanted to do...
That's very brave of you.
We tried. My team made it happen. So we wanted to do a very intimate show, and we wanted to do one where it was for the music,
right.
Good or bad. Kostobai show, that's up to the attendees. But good or bad, it would be just the intimate shows, because we've seen that in Nepali, the music scene. It's not about the concert at all. It's first and foremost, it's about the venue.
Okay.
Second, it was about what brand of alcohol is funding it. Third of all, it's like, what DJ is playing after, and how long is the party going to go on? And then it's about, how much promotion can we get out of this? And in the end, it's about, the artist. What's the sound system like? We'll sort that out. I guess we're gonna have to be with it. So we're like, nah. If it is going to be like a bootstrap, we're gonna do it ourselves. And I've got a team. Obviously, I like talking about them quite a lot, because they make all these magical things happen. Downtown Flux, and we had a couple of collaborators this time as well. The thing is that we've been there since there was nothing. Since when I say nothing, is in terms of the support that we've gotten and everything, and it was slowly built up. But the thing is that the stories that we've been able to tell, it's because of the entire effort. And Downtown Flux, we wanted to do our show first. We didn't want anybody else to have it. We didn't want we didn't want to go into a venue with the same thing. We didn't want to go to a venue and be like, so it's that many people, this many, this much alcohol sold, it's sponsored by this and that and all that sort of stuff. No hoops to jump through, nothing. We just wanted to be a show, and it had to be small so that it could be intimate, so that I could see the person at the last row as well as the first, and that was very important. And yeah, so it was just about. This was something that my team facilitated so that I could have my wish, because I love doing private and intimate shows. Big shows is great; they're fantastic, but the thing that you can actually just look at somebody in the eye and just be there is massively important to me. And I think a couple of times I even got to make jokes that were silly jokes, very lame, weren't even funny, but at least I got to say that to the person listening to me, right from the row 3 and everything. So that was the concept. It was not to be exclusive. It was so that we would do a show that was for for the intimacy of things. And because when we started, there were 40 fans, 4,000 fans, and supporters, and that's the kind of idea that we wanted to have. And it's like hopefully we got it through.
All right. On that note, we'll be taking the commercial break, the first commercial break, and we'll be back on Chiya Guff. This is Jay Pradhan with the one and only Sajjan Raj Vaidya. हेर्दै हुनुहुन्छ चिया गफ, म हुँ जय प्रधान. दिस इज प्राइम टाइम्स एसडी र मसँग हुनुहुन्छ सज्जन राज वैद्य. स्पिकिङ अबाउट द टिम, हैन, आइड लाइक टु गिभ अ बिग शाउट आउट टु प्रतीक फर्स्ट अफ अल, हैन, अनि त्यसपछि गएर के अरे हाम्रो शरीफ, हु आई ह्याड द फर्स्ट मिटिङ विथ यु एन्ड शरीफ, एन्ड देन अहिले हि इज म्यानेजर राइट नाउ, सौम्या. Right? Amazing coordination with the team, and they're pretty responsive.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like, wow, now this is something professional that I'm dealing with.
Yeah, definitely.
It's easy.
Yeah, and we have more members as well. We have Kailash, we have Nurbu as well, who are not in Nepal right now. But yeah, it's every little thing that we do, it comes through that. It's the 5 of us are the other core members, Soumya, Sharif, I, Nurbu, Kailash, and we try to make things happen. We have the pleasure of collaborating with Pratik and a lot of the others, just like you said. And yeah, it generally is, rather than the professional side of things, it's a group of people that are passionate about what they do, and yeah, we're just fortunate to be able to be in this place.
Sajjan, like you did the concert, and we just talked about it.
Yeah.
You just cleared a lot of air right there. I just want to ask this: कति call आयो तिमीलाई, bro? Ticket छ, हामी आउनु पर्यो, मिलाइदेऊ न ब्रो भनेर.
And यसपालि चाहिँ the good thing about having the team is
because you had a lot of people, I know that. And,
I mean,
they probably would.
उनीहरूले चाहिँ राम्रोसँग एकदम deal गरे हैन, so that I could only focus on music.
Okay.
So
you stayed away from it.
I stayed absolutely away from it because we knew that it would seem like it comes from a place of arrogance and everything. We were aware. That's not the case, but भन्नेले भन्छ हैन, तर जे हो त्यो हो, त्यो अरु कुरा गरी यताउता भन्दैमा त्यो जे true हो त्यो change हुँदैन नि. So we wanted to do a show, and we knew like we would get a lot of heat, and we were ready for it.
Well, in turn, I mean, you received a lot of love, I guess.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. We've definitely seen a lot of support, and people are very, very excited and everything. And it's just yeah, the most we can do is if we do these kind of things again, try to improve the quality. It's my personal responsibility. It's the responsibility of my team to improve the quality, and hopefully we'll get to do that. And with these small shows, Zordera, maybe big shows and everything, and that's the hope. I'm trying to be sincere.
Okay, so coming to this point where I'm pursuing my MBA in entrepreneurship, and the basic requirement for an entrepreneur is that he or she needs to be innovative. He or she needs to solve a problem.
Right.
And the basic requirement of an entrepreneur.
Right.
And now, coming to the singers and the artists and what you do, you need to be innovative every single time. You need to deliver something new.
Right.
And you are solving a problem. I'm specifically talking to you because you are the guest today, and I've discussed this with you the first time I met, what I want to talk. Really the focus of it. Now, is it a challenge for singers and artists for them to prove themselves? Prove पनि गर्नु पर्दैन. It's actually given that I consider all the artists as entrepreneurs because, like yourself, you've been solving a lot of emotional problems. I mean, people listen to you at every time because while they're driving their cars, when they're in emotional distress, when they're happy, when they they know how to express themselves through your songs.
Yeah, I mean, again, thank you for the praise, but I don't know if, we are solving problems. We're essentially trying to relate to people and trying to win that. But it's essentially like, the way I see it is expressing a story, expressing an emotion, an experience that, you felt or imagined based on, other people's experiences and everything, and you're essentially just trying to talk about it so that people are aware that there's someone else who's felt that story. There's someone else who's been in love, and therefore, you're in love. There's somebody else who's had a heartbreak, and therefore they can relate to your heartbreak. There's somebody else who's aspired to dreams, who's seen failures and everything. And I think that's what makes us human. Now, in terms of the entrepreneurship, well, it's essentially, whether it's intentional or not, as musicians or as singers and everything, yes, there is an idea about how better to express yourselves, and that's what I think people do in real life as well. It's just like you see yourself over the past, and you see what you're passionate about. You see how to be better emotionally, mentally, in terms of a skill and everything. And I think that's we've been lucky to stumble upon the works that we do and everything that does contribute to us growing little by little. That's essentially it. But yeah, you're right. Like I think a lot of the artists that I've seen as well, they try to come up with ways and everything, and new ways, and how better to express it. Like people know this as this emotion or this experience as this. How can we show this as something else? But it's just a lot of thinking and expression, and in terms of that, yes, there's a lot of room for creativity and innovation and everything. And as the end note for this, I would like to say, yes, all that is great. That is what breeds growth and all that sort of stuff. But sometimes, and this is something that I love to talk about, an artist, anything, a musical artist or any other kind of an artist, has an artist identity that is at the core of everything else. No matter how much they grow, at the end there'll always be that particular person, at the core. And sometimes it's okay to just not do anything new. Sometimes it's okay to say, how you feel or what you've experienced in that same way that you did the first time. It doesn't always have to be. And that is, I think, very important, because that makes you, keeps you true to yourself. Right. And that is an innovation, because when you think about it, it's so common to try to say, oh, let's do something new. Or we've done new. And in the face of all that, to just put all the effort to keep it simple, and we talked about simplicity before, that is a lot of work and a lot of hard work, and I think that is very important as well. So, yeah, I think this is crucial.
So you constantly learn and unlearn.
Yeah, definitely unlearn. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I think that's a very eloquent way to put it. Like, the unlearning bit is crucial, I think, a lot of the times.
What keeps you pretty much grounded at the same time, having to say that, okay, it is the part of the process. How hard is it to stay true to your craft, to stay true to yourself, because the market is constantly changing?
Yeah.
And do you see yourself, catering to the market commercially too?
I mean, if it does happen, it's a great thing. But I don't think the only purpose is to survive or thrive in the market. The market mentality is sometimes because. In terms of what you like doing, you like talking to people, excavating stories and everything. Whether there was a market or not, you will always want to do that regardless. Whether it's one person watching, whether there's no person watching, you'll be curious regardless, right? Nothing changes. So it's not about the market. I mean, it's a great thing that you've reached a certain level of success, and you can actually reach out and bring out more stories. But the thing is that it never changes, right? So I think that's what is important. Like, people keep thinking about these things like, oh, is it going to be successful? Is it going to get views? Is it going to get streams? Am I going to be popular? And, I always try to go back to this, not metaphor, but this comparison. Like, if there weren't that many viewers, if there weren't that many supporters and everything, would I stop loving music the way I do? And I wouldn't. That's the thing. So at the heart of everything, it's difficult, obviously, because there's a lot of pressure, and it's easier said than done to just not be fazed by, not being able to connect with everybody else. But I think you know, at the end of it, you just have to remember yourself. What do you do that for? You do it because of your love for something, and not because somebody else. I mean, like I said, you know, if on your way to bettering yourself, you just, you know, happen to gather other resources and everything that are going to make your life comfortable, easy, even extravagant. Why not? You know, why should you reject positive things, positive additions and everything? You won't. That would be unwise, and you know. But yeah. So, but the focus is to actually remain true to who you are, or at least try to.
Right.
And then and along the way, if you know success in you know other terms, the traditional terms, if they happen, great. You know.
So, for all the youngsters, you know, for the ones who follow you, for the ones who are just stepping into the music scene, tell me about the condition of the musical industry. You know, like the way you've seen it.
Yeah.
You know, like is it still a matter of survival yet? Still, what is it like?
No, it certainly is.
The current scenario.
Yeah, I mean, again, just like you said, you know, मैले हेरेको, मैले देखेको हिसाबले मात्र हो. But I think it's very much a matter of survival. I think we still have to, you know, learn how our society should look at musicians and actors and, you know, painters and all that sort of stuff. Because right now, and I've said this multiple times before, no artist is valued until they become famous. Or this term.
Thank you.
No, this term people use, and I hate it. I'm sorry to everyone I've had a conversation with that I've just blown past it without showing my, you know, I wouldn't say disgust, but like dissatisfaction with it. But this term viral, and it's like I hate it. It's just like people keep talking about it. People keep talking about it, like, you know, an artist is not successful unless somebody famous. The person draws somebody famous, and the famous person tags them, and then now all of a sudden they're validated.
Right,
you know, it's. I'm sorry, but it's stupid.
You don't need to be sorry. I mean, it's something that I talk about every time, because I face that every time. You know, I face that every time because I need to be proving myself who I am. What do I do? And you know, but then everybody's like into the numbers. Jay-Z, the numbers pugdaina. It's like, you know, I'm giving exams. You know, like every time. You know, from the school, number school my number pugdio. You know, but then like first boy, second boy, third. I was an above average child. You know, but it's always been about numbers. You know, school ma hundakeri results, and then. ठुलो हुँदाखेरि Instagram numbers.
And the things are like, and that comes from a problematic culture that, you know, our society has. You know, and again, for people who are too sensitive to these matters, I'm not saying that only Nepal has this issue. Every community in the world has that issue. We just, because we're so small, it seems like it's emphasized a lot more. People tend to be really sensitive in, you know, like in Nepal and in this community, because we are very social media based. But the things that it stems from the culture where people are really attached to what other people think of them and other people enjoy, and what it is like in America or internationally. Too concerned with that. Let me just put it to, you know, like a comparison, like. For instance, you know, I live in America, and then I see shows, and when we go to a few shows, these are artists no one's ever heard of, but it's simply based on the fact that somebody said, "Oh, I've heard this artist, it's good, let's just go." And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, there's nothing else that I've planned, maybe it might be a good experience," and they go just for the music, not to get drunk. They're not going to be like, "Oh yeah, we're going to be drunk and I'm just bro," and they don't try to. They just go, try to listen to the music. But they don't complain about how the ticket price is, like, you know, compared to, "Oh, your artist goes to your percent, your man followers and everything." But here I've seen that happen. It's like, why is this, you know, so expensive? Expensive. I don't think, you know, and I would like, you know, fellow musicians and artists to just come out and say this. I don't think people realize how expensive things are just to get things started. Just to, like, let's say a starting musician, right? Starting musician, a microphone. That is expensive. The cheapest microphone is probably $150 to $200. What is that, like 25,000 rupees? That is just the first thing. And let's just say, generally, I'm talking about the standard starter, right? And then they need a sound interface, you know, audio interface. Maybe that's going to be, okay, the cheapest one is going to be $100. That's another 10,000. we're at it, that's another kati. So we've come around to 35,000. Okay, cool. And then we've got a computer, a laptop. Maybe we need a studio. Maybe we need someone to mix and master. A standard person starting, a college person starting that, to have 1.5 lakhs and 2 lakhs and everything, that is impossible. But the thing is that people still spend it and have a song. And then they're like, oh, Yota Git Banatsa Dere Hero. It's like, okay then, buy me all the infrastructures, you know, as a starting artist, buy me all the infrastructure, I'll make a song. If you don't like it, instead of you paying to come, you know, watch me, my show, come see my shows and everything. But that doesn't happen. The young artists and everything, and the people who start and everything, don't realize how expensive things are, how expensive it is to make a music video, and that is a required thing, how expensive it is to record, to have it mastered, mix it. People don't understand that. And is very much of a struggle, and you know, that's something that needs to be brought to light. And that's why, like, I'm not saying throw money and shower artists like singers and dancers and painters, everything, and cinematographers in money. I'm not saying like I'm just saying, like, respect it enough where if I was selling you your saman and I offered it, and Sharif said this very well, and if I asked you, you know, to buy this teapot, and I said the price of this teapot is 500 rupees, you'd either take it or leave it. It would be 500. You wouldn't say, oh, why? It doesn't look that great and everything. And oh, yo, and I got teapot like my 20 rupiyaँ so my 15 rupiyaँ. You don't say that. Somebody's put work into that, so there's an idea, there's an intellectual side of things and everything, and that's why certain things cost a certain way, and you know what it takes there, people don't consider that. And people, yes, to a certain degree, you can't always be responsible for what, you know, it costs to bring something there, but like, you have to acknowledge the fact that if you want that, you need to be okay with the fact that, you know, a massive amount of resources were expended for that to be brought into existence, and that is what people don't understand. I don't think fully, but people do. But like, that's not a thing that
they don't value it.
Ingrained into the culture, and I think we need to start doing that. We need to stop relying on musicians just up and coming, you know, to like be brought into the scene through playing at a restaurant where nobody respects them, nobody stops and listens to them until they're absolutely, you know, like extraordinary and everything. Because nobody's extraordinary from the get-go. Not everybody is. Perhaps some people are, but that's how you learn. And they say, you know, you need to acknowledge their existence. You need to acknowledge somebody who plays on the street, maybe, who just plays a song that is maybe not the top charting thing, but at least that's, you know, there's maybe the lyric side of things and everything, and, you know, maybe it's not viral in TikTok or, you know, in the world, but that's not what you value. And you know, that's something that I'm, you know, as you've seen, I'm getting agitated about it, but because it's so frustrating to see that, especially, yeah, jatina artists or jatina, you know, people are so talented and everything. People don't, you know, त्यो हिसाबले like धेरै हुनुपर्ने हो क्या, त्यो भइरा छैन, त्यही भएर चाहिँ it's very frustrating.
I'm glad that you advocated that. You know, you've been a voice for us, for myself too. I'm really happy for that. We are going for the next commercial break. We'll be right back only on Chiya Guff, Sajjan Raj Vaidya, all candid and all for you. All right, yes, this is time for the second commercial break. Okay, this is Chiya Guff, Pradhan, Sajjan Raj Vaidya, and we are just talking about everything that I'd probably want to talk about, that I probably talked about behind the cameras, but you know, having this conversation is a sheer pleasure. All right, so Sajjan, you know, you're from Kathmandu, and you've been brought up here. You've been pretty close to the culture. Do you speak Newari?
Alikati.
So you can actually have a conversation in Newari.
Conversation चाहिँ नभनौँ किनभने नबोलेको पनि धेरै भइसक्यो तर सुनिरा हो घरमा पनि बोलिरा हुन्छ हैन त्यही हिसाबले तर त्यस्तो खासै चाहिँ आउँदैन सिक्न मन छ तर नेवारी एकदम गाह्रो छ त्यही भएर त्यही हल्का हल्का.
So what was it like, you know, growing up tolma and having friends around, and it's been a while that you've been based in the US, and अब आएर चाहिँ यसो हेर्दाखेरि हाम्रो शहर कतिको बदलिएको छ, कसरी बदलिएको छ, what's your take on that?
And एकदमै लाइक अहिले त यति फरक भइसक्यो पहिला भन्दा हैन, लाइक हुर्किने कुरामा म्युजिक सिक्ने कुरामा पनि कसरी छिरेको भन्दाखेरि अब त्यही ज्याठाको त्यो गिटार पसलमा गएर पैसा जम्मा गरेर गिटार किनेर
I live there. I live there.
त्यहाँबाट त्यो सिक्यो अनि त्यहाँबाट प्रोडक्सन सिक्दा पनि कसरी गर्थ्यो भन्दाखेरि त्यहाँ के अरे सिडी पसलको भएको एरियाहरूमा गएर सफ्टवेयर्सहरू खोजेर अनि यत्तिकै हुन्छ नि त्यसरी गरेर त्यो पुरानो कति पेन्टियम 3 पेन्टियम 4मा राखेर सिकेर त्यसरी गरेर आयो अनि सो यहाँबाट आएर जे जस्तो थियो पहिला म्युजिक जसरी डिस्कभर गरिन्थ्यो ट्रान्सफर पहिला सिडिजहरूमा बर्न गर्थ्यो त्योभन्दा अगाडि एन्ड एभ्रिथिङ सो त्योबाट अहिले लाइक इट्स भेरी लाइक दिस इज भेरी काठमाडौँ चाहिँ बाहिर चाहिँ थाहा भने खासै एकदम मोडर्नाइज भइसक्यो पहिला जस्तो छैन तर एकदम लाइक इन टर्म्स अफ द यहाँको एक्टिभिटी यहाँको कल्चर एन्ड एभ्रिथिङ सबै एकदम बिल्डअप हुँदैछ फास्ट पेस हुँदैछ पिपल आर रियली लाइक मोर अवेयर अफ थिङ्स cafe culture is something I love that I've loved from New York and त्यो पनि यता छ अनि yeah it's growing in a lot of the positive ways एउटा negative भनेको traffic and pollution but you know hopefully त्यो चाहिँ resolve हुन्छ but everything else is great there's so many artists music ma theater ma यताउता that are just coming up and yeah it's एकदम positively चाहिँ grow भइरहेछ
अब यत्रो जात्रा हुन्छ सबै हुन्छ के हुन्छ have you been a part of jatras like have you been on the streets like you know Indra Jatra or something like that त्यस्तोमा गएको छ कि छैन like have you experienced it first hand like on the streets
अहिले चाहिँ छैन because obviously COVID and everything अनि बाहिर बसेर भयो तर पहिला त पहिला त त्यो everything from Indra Jatraहरू do you know what Palsa Chapa was yeah so त्यो things like that अनि पहिलाको हुन्छ नि the way Tihar was before and I'm so sad that it's changed Tihar and Dasai because पहिला when I was in Nepal and you know even before that was Tihar was a big deal Dasai was a big deal you know you'd be out with friends and everything and you'd just be busy in a lot of the ways and now it's changed and it's kind of like a thing of a past that's all I'm sad about
something that you miss while you're in the US the most what is it like besides family
food but other than that, I don't know. It's just Kathmandu has a very different culture about it, a vibe about it, where you, I don't know, you feel at home, and if you want to just chill, you know, the entire city's your chill spot. If you want to work, you can do that as well. And I don't know, it's your कुरा भनेर गाह्रो like भन्न गाह्रो छ हैन but सानो कुराहरु चाहिँ यता like I said just like meeting साथीहरुलाई पहिला बसन्तपुरमा थियो अहिले यता उता होला त्यो अनि just हुन्छ नि just the Nogurkot thing and this and that and everything and सब कुरा चाहिँ सानो कुराहरु चाहिँ अलि गर्दै त्यो चाहिँ मिस हुन्छ
now I don't want you to sing a song that's very I don't know like I just don't find it right to make a sing song but it'd be really awesome if you could just recite some of your lyrics. Just recite them in your own way.
Okay. I mean, okay.
Just recite the lyrics.
Okay. I'm trying. Kun geet ko chai गर्ने भनेर क्या. Yeah. Okay. So one of the favorite piece of work that I've done personally that I love other than the one that I'm trying to work on right now with the team is Lukamari.
Okay.
And Lukamari now there's this phrase, this verse, and it starts with Sustari bilai jauma pani mera boli sari timi mai ani boli ta boli na ho tara kaile kai pani deu tei boli boli ta boli na ho tara kaile kai tei boli ma pani deu malai and then it's like Mayalu timalai maya garchu.
It's such a pleasure to, even if you don't sing it, you just recite things, man. It's going to be a lot of buzz. No,
it's because that bit is, I like that because, so this song was essentially written with the theme in mind that we all, are not fortunate enough to just find the love of our lives on the first go. And perhaps some of us never do. Perhaps some of us do on the first go, or perhaps some of us do later. But generally, we've all loved someone else before we find the one, right? Before we find the person we love, before we find Maya, right? And this matter is like what that bit is saying is like, you know, मैले केही पनि भन्नु मिल्दैन, like तिमीलाई, that's not been said before. That's all. Everything's been. You've said you love somebody before. You've called them baby before. You've told them you miss them before. You said, you know, like you know, forever things and this and that before. So त्यो कुरा चाहिँ like मैले भनेर is going to be all old, and के भन्ने थाहा छैन. And in that sense, you know, my words, they just dissolve in me because, you know, like it's you know, because of who I've been. But while that's dissolving, you know, in like a negative kind of a way, where that I'm speechless for the lack of, you know, things being new and original, I dissolve in you in a positive way because I am lost in you, but for all the right reasons. For all the wrong reasons that words escape me, for all the right reasons, I you know, dissolve in you. And त्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ it's like while and त्यो हो, but I still want you to, like, you know, communicate to me and say that you miss me, so that you love me. I want you to call me baby. I want you to do all that kind of thing. So it's essentially like the intimacy is like, oh, paila bhaisakyo, but forget all that. That's all in the past. And now, you know, I want you to be mine, and I want to you know, love you the way I want to, and I want you to love me the way you want to, and I want to make that possible. So yeah, I love that piece of lyrics, and I'm glad I stumbled upon it.
It's actually amazing how you put all those emotions, you know, limited to the lyrics. Because you're a man of many words, and you love to express yourself. Yourself apparently. That's what I've come to know. And you know, the way you write, the way you compose, and the way you sing, I wish you always do, and you know, get it to all of us, and probably the coming generations. I wish you good health. I wish you prosperity, and I wish you all the, you know, good things in the world. Thank you so much, Sajjan.
Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, so Sajjan Raj Vaidya in the house. Amazing conversation, and of course, a very good time with the singer here, the songwriter here, and the producer here. All right, so man of many words, and suddenly man of the words that cater to your brains and to your hearts. All right, this is Pradhan signing off from Chiya Guff, and as always, people, let that heart beat, for if you let it beat, it'll take you to all the wonderful places. Ciao.
Powered by उच्च सोचको निर्माण सगरमाथा सिमेन्ट जुनी जुनीलाई